राना मुबशिर आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर थी। अमेरिकन पाकिस्तान को कई सालों से पैसे दे रहे हैं और बहुत एक हेफ्टी अमाउंट पैसों की पाकिस्तान को देते हैं। एक मरतबा फिर एक नया इनिशिएटिव लिया गया है जी अमेरिकन की तरफ से, और वो नया इनिशिएटिव ये है कि वो लोगों को पैसे देना चाहते हैं, लोगों की बेहतरी के लिए काम करना चाहते हैं, और लोगों से एक कांटेक्ट बनाना चाहते हैं। नीचे जो लोग हैं, जो छोटे तबके के लोग हैं, मासेस में जाके उनके साथ उनको हेल्प आउट करना चाहते हैं। इट्स अमेरिकन टैक्स पेयर मनी थी। अमेरिकन जो टैक्स देते हैं वही पैसा यहाँ पे आता है, चाहे वो कैरी लूगर बिल की शक्ल में आए या किसी और शक्ल में आए। पैसा अमेरिकन अवाम का है और वो पैसा पाकिस्तान को दिया जाता है मुख्तलिफ प्रोजेक्ट्स में, चाहे वो ख़वातीन को हेल्प आउट करने के लिए दिया जाए, एजुकेशन के लिए दिया जाए, या किसी भी पर्पज़ के लिए दिया जाए। लेकिन एक चीज़ बड़ी क्लियर है कि अमेरिकन जो टैक्सेस देते हैं अपने मुल्क में, वही पैसा पाकिस्तान में आता है और पाकिस्तान में खर्च होता है पाकिस्तान की आवाम पे। कहाँ कहाँ पे ये पैसा खर्च होगा, कैसे खर्च होगा, और क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए जा चुके हैं और क्या आइंदा आने वाले वक्तों में लिए जाएंगे। एम्बेसडर रॉबिन रेफेल यूएस कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं फॉर इकोनॉमिक एंड डेवलपमेंट असिस्टेंस, मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं जी। उनसे पूछते हैं कि वो क्या कहती हैं आइंदा आने वाले वक्तों में क्या करने जा रहे हैं ये लोग पाकिस्तान के लिए। लॉन्ग टर्म रिलेशन एक कायम करना चाहते हैं पाकिस्तान के साथ जी, और जो हो गया, जो पास्ट में हो चुका है, उसको भूल जाएं एंड लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड एंड हैव लाइक अ गुड रिलेशंस विद द अमेरिकन्स। Thank you very much for coming, Investor.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be here with you today.
The pleasure is all mine, Investor. What exactly are you people doing over here? Like, you want to go for a long-term relation with Pakistan this time, and you want to help out people of Pakistan. And you, as you are like looking after the assistance which is coming in, and that is a non-military assistance which you are looking after. And what are the areas which you are going to be focusing on in Pakistan?
Well, you're absolutely right that we want to demonstrate to the people of Pakistan that we're here for a long-term relationship, a partnership, that the ups and downs and blips of the past are exactly that, a thing of the past, and that we're here to stay, and we're here to listen and assist in a way that we mutually feel is most appropriate. And you know, I would add that I'm personally very committed to this mission because I first came to Pakistan in 1975 and worked at the USAID mission. So I've watched this country over the years, and I've watched the relationship, and I have a great deal of regard and respect for the people of Pakistan. So I'm really wanting to do my part to contribute to this, which is why I'm here, and I think why all of us are here on this mission to help plan and implement with the government of Pakistan, with the people of Pakistan, this Kerry Lugar-Berman program.
Yeah, that's why when you came in, when you were appointed over here, and people in the Capitol Hill said that she's the right person for the right job. Because
well, I hope so.
You spend a lot of time over here, right?
I have spent a lot of time over here, and again, I have great affection for this country and great hope for its future. So what are we trying to do here with the Kerry Lugar-Berman program? As you know, this legislation authorizing a multi-year $7.5 billion civilian assistance program was designed to demonstrate this partnership and to demonstrate that the civilian side, the people-oriented side of the partnership was as important to us as the security side. So we wanted to demonstrate that in a very concrete way. And so that is why Kerry Lugar and Berman authorized a tripling of our civilian assistance. And as we looked at what we would do with this assistance, we were guided by a few basic principles. first of all, with this amount of money, we want to get back into the infrastructure business.
Okay.
Okay, in the assistance over the years, the fashion's changed. Sometimes it's infrastructure, sometimes it's the softer programs. But we think we need a mix of both, and we want to get back into infrastructure in the energy sector, water, agriculture, and so on. So that's one thing that was different as we were designing our program going forward. Second thing is we were determined to work as much as possible through the government of Pakistan to align the priorities in our program with the priorities of the government and the people of Pakistan. This is consistent with principles of aid effectiveness and consistent with the goal of helping the government be able to provide services and to do so in a sustained way. So we didn't want to have a parallel education system or a parallel health system implemented through contractors. We wanted to work through the government system so the government could become more effective and more responsive to the people.
Are we talking, I'm sorry I'm cutting you over here, but are we talking about one government, the present government, or the governments to come also?
We're talking about government institutions.
Okay.
Government institutions. You know, for example, we have a program with the Punjab Department of Education, primary education program. We're working through their systems, collaborating with other donors who have worked with them before, you know, listening to their priorities and putting our funding to the items which they find most important to them at this point.
For example, if you're like working with the system over there, in the education system over there, what exactly are you doing over there?
Okay, our program, our funds will do two things. One, and this is important, they will focus on schools in the areas of southern Punjab, which have had less funding and frankly less attention from the government, fewer services, less reliable services over the years. So we're focusing our funding in those districts. And specifically, what we're doing is very simple. It's helping repair facilities, replace missing facilities in schools so that the boundary walls are there so that the girls will come, separate toilet facilities for girls and boys, these kinds of very fundamental things. And then we're also funding textbooks.
Okay. So the basic things which are needed educational institution, we're going to provide that.
Right.
Because in most of the areas in southern Punjab, there are no walls, there are no health facilities over there, there are no roofs over there, there's no furniture over there. And at places, at most of the educational institutions, there are no even textbooks over there. So you're going to provide all of the stuff over there.
Very basic. And those are the priorities of the government of Punjab. And in the following years, they might want to focus more on teacher training or other aspects of the program. But for now, in our discussions with them, these are the needs, so we're going to support that.
Okay. So this is like...
Just an example.
Yeah, this is an example, and we're talking about the education issue. What about the energy sector? What are you going to do?
The energy sector is...
we are facing lots of problems with the energy sector.
No, we have noticed that. And in fact, I can tell you that we decided to get involved in the energy sector, to focus on the energy sector about a year and a half ago when Ambassador Holbrooke was here. He was in Karachi, in the outskirts, visiting a school, and it was very, very hot. And, you know, he had an epiphany, in a sense, thinking, what is it the people of Pakistan really need and want, you know, at this moment in time? And one of the things, clearly, he concluded, was more reliable energy, more reliable power supply. And, you know, as you know, and many people here know, that is a complicated question. It has not only to do with facilities and more generation capacity, it has to do with decreasing the losses in the distribution system. It has to do with changing the fuel mix so that you have the less expensive fuels going to the power sector. It has to do with reform in the sector, changing the tariff structure, lessening some of the subsidies so that the sector begins to pay for itself.
Okay.
And that reform is necessary, but also repair and new generation facilities and more efficient collection of tariffs, and all of that is part of the package.
So are you concentrating on dams also in the second phase, or
we're doing, let me just say what we're doing in the energy sector because it's important.
Yeah.
We're doing some fairly quick refurbishments of 3 thermal plants.
Okay.
We're replacing one of the big turbines at the Tarbela plant.
Okay.
Which I was pleased to see because I was here when they were building that
You're talking
that dam.
about 70s, right?
Yeah. It's an amazing structure, and there were a lot of American engineers involved in that. And then we're working on replacing the motors of tube wells so that they use less energy. And that might sound like a small thing, but this is a country with a lot of tube wells, and when you add it up, you can get a lot of energy savings that way. And we're also working with the distribution companies on their tariff collection, probably moving into some smart metering and that sort of thing, which makes collection more efficient. Then on 2 dams, which are partly built. One is Gomel-Zam, which of course will service much of southern Fatah. And the other is the Satpara Dam in Gilgit-Baltistan. Both of these dams were partly constructed, but the government didn't have the funds to complete them. They both have extensive water storage and irrigation elements to them, as well as the power. So we're doing that. And then looking to the future, we're going to be collaborating with the international financial institutions to look at what other infrastructure we might get involved with. Maybe one of the larger dams in conjunction with other partners. So we're excited about the power sector.
So bigger plans are going to come in the days to come.
Yes.
You have not decided that yet.
No, but I can tell you, we've learned a lot in the last year and a half in working with people in the Ministry of Water and Power, the Water and Power Development Authority, and listening to various experts. So we're poised to begin more specifically formulating our future strategy in the energy sector.
So what about the health sector? The health facilities are not there as such. If you go to interior Punjab, interior Sindh, or interior Balochistan, or for that matter Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in the interior Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the basic health facilities, we lack those. Right. And do you plan to focus on those health facilities?
We have been working in the health sector for a long time, and of course the health sector is a little complicated because there are what they call vertical programs from the Ministry of Health at the federal level, training for the lady health workers and midwives and all of that, and the disease surveillance and the immunizations. And then there are the service delivery points managed by the provincial governments. So we've been working heretofore at both levels, primarily helping to train midwives and lady health workers and lady health visitors and the like, to do training for midwives and these lady health workers in family planning and all of that.
It's like training process.
It's training. But what we're going to do in the future, we've already identified some facilities that we will rehabilitate. The Lady Willingdon Hospital in Lahore, Jinnah Medical Center in Karachi, and the district hospital in Jacobabad. So we're going to do those. They were each selected on particular criteria. And then we're going to continue with a focus on strengthening the system so that you have the professionals at the primary level, the district level, and at the higher tertiary level, so that the system works better and people are referred on up the line, and that basic problems are treated at the right level, so that the system's more efficient. And we're also providing a lot of commodities that are not produced here internationally.
Such as?
Some of the contraceptives,
Okay.
Which are key. We're helping the government in its renewed commitment for child spacing and family planning and so on.
Mm-hmm. So, are there any checks and balances on all these things, because normally what happens is that people pump in money, or the donors pump in money, and they forget about it. And it's like, then it goes waste, And are you going to keep any checks and balances on all these things, or what?
You've raised a very important issue for us, and for the American taxpayer and for the U.S. Congress, and I'm happy to say for our interlocutors here in Pakistan. Everybody's concerned that the money doesn't go to waste.
Yeah.
Everybody's concerned about transparency and accountability. And these things are issues that are very important to us, and we're doing a number of things. First of all, before we can provide U.S. funding either to a government institution or to an NGO or international organization, whatever, we need to do what we call a pre-award assessment, and to look at their accounting systems and procurement systems and so on. So we're busily doing that. We're a big boon to the accounting industry in Pakistan because we've hired a lot of them to help us with this work. So we do that. And we have very strict reporting standards. We audit our programs regularly. We've been working with the Auditor General here to do some work together and to do some capacity building, with that office. We've set up what we call a hotline with Transparency International. This caused a bit of a flurry of press here, but basically, it's a line that people can call if they notice anything that is amiss with programs that we fund. This doesn't go to Pakistan, government of Pakistan's programs, just the ones that we fund. But still, we think it will help people be more aware and alert, and sense that if they see something obviously suspicious or wrong, they have a place to call.
Yeah, they have a hotline they can call you, and plus you have an email facility.
Right,
also,
yes,
right?
that's the way the hotlines work in this day and age.
Yeah.
There's a telephone, there's SMS,
they're going to you
there's
be posted on
email.
all the flaws, Yeah,
I'm sure we'll hear a lot. But, overall, and then there's the whole transparency issue where we're putting much of our documentation on a website. That's the way of this era. So people are free to look at the budgets and look at the agreements and see what money's going where.
What exactly you want to do about the women in Pakistan? The women in Pakistan, we have a few issues with the women in Pakistan. Not these days, but there were times, you were here like in 70s. It's a male-dominated society over here, and male over here were like a little like. But this one about women, if they started feeling insecure from women, that if the woman was
I'm not going to comment on that.
But anyways, are you doing something for the women in Pakistan over here?
Absolutely.
Is that the main focus, or the males are being left aside?
So they have to feel insecure. No, we wouldn't do that. But we do have a couple of things. First of all, for many years now, there's been a consciousness in assistance programs about